Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Kechidori.
Hi guys, welcome back. Now, if you've got one of these questions, you are in the right place. Now, are you worried about your marketing results constantly? Or are you ready to put an end to worrying about where your next client will come from? In today's show, I'm catching up with my friend Altovise Pelzer on a project that I think you're going to love. We're going to be talking about all things podcasting. Altovise, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for allowing me to come and to share with your audience on how they can utilize podcasting for their business.
I know you've been doing this for some time now and you've seen tremendous results, and we can't wait to hear how podcasting has helped you reach your financial goals, connect with many people, and of course, making a huge impact in a lot of people's lives. So it's very exciting.
Oh my goodness, yes. I want to give this disclaimer for all of you that are saying, I'm too shy. I'm an introvert. And so we'll dig into how being an introvert works in your favor. It doesn't work against you.
That's brilliant. Now, while we are at it, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you find yourself in this place where you're helping other women. In fact, I know your mission is to help other women share their stories with the world. Talk to us.
Oh my goodness. So being in this space, I kind of stumbled upon it about 3 to 4 years ago. And I was originally doing it as videos on Facebook. I wasn't even doing the audio piece of it and putting the audio on one of the podcasting platforms, but just knowing that I was giving other women and men the opportunity to share their story or encourage someone else, it shifted everything. It put us in a whole other perspective. And so when I said yes to that opportunity, I not only opened the door for myself to share my story, but for them to share theirs. When it came to them being a speaker, when it came to them being an author, an entrepreneur, I literally opened up the gateway for CEOs from like Zero Shoes and connections like with Steve Olsher and some of the other great podcasters out there. And as the introvert, it was really interesting too, because for me, I'm not always the loudest one in the room.
Right.
I'm not always the one in the front of the room. I'm normally the one in the back, closest to the exit. But this definitely opened up lines of communication for networking, for being able to sell my products and services, for being able to connect with potential speakers, for I do a yearly summit every February for the whole month. And it's opened up a whole pool of people to come and be guests on the show from all over the world. It's a global, international summit. But it started from just hitting that record button. I know that that's like one of the hardest things to do. To hit that record button or to hit that go live button, because we don't know who's going to be on the other side, who's going to hear it. We don't know who we're going to connect with. But it's definitely been a key instrument in building my business. I think if I did not have my podcast, I would not be in the position I am now as a single mom, doing my business full time. I get to podcast as part of my business. That's a great opportunity and a great experience, because from the comfort of my home, I can connect with people like you who are over in a whole other country.
Amazing. And what I love about you truly is how you have found your voice. You have used your previous experience to help other women share their story. Maybe, very briefly, you could share with us your previous experience.
Most definitely. So I'll share one that you'll hear it and it'll spark some things, especially with everything we have going on right now.
Yes.
And so 2015, I had a conversation with my oldest daughter about trust.
Yes.
And it was the first time that I had ever told anyone that I had been molested as a child. So at the time, I was 35. And so imagine it happened when I was in first grade. And so that whole time, I never told anyone. But when my girls were smaller, they had been molested. And so I went through this process of trying to heal them. And then it almost felt like my wound was reopened because it wasn't properly healed as well. And so we go through this process and it shifted some things because when I went back and asked my daughter, what was one of her most proud moments, it was that conversation because she kind of felt like she wasn't alone. I said, wow, if that does that for my daughter, what will it do for other women?
Wow.
And so I said, okay, 2016 is going to be my year. I'm going all in. That's it. And then December 31st of 2015, I was evicted from my home.
Wow.
Single mom with 4 kids. I had to pull everything out of my home and put it on the curb and figure out what I was going to do. But here it is. I said 2016 was going to be my year. I said that was going to be something phenomenal for me. So January 1st, I had a decision to make. Do I have my pity party? And that woe is me moment, we all have our moments where things aren't going right. We kind of just go, and we just sit there and we sulk. Or we go and we find people to listen to us and complain about it. But I had a flight that was scheduled for January 1st. I said, do I take this flight or do I stay home and have my pity party? And I said, you know what? For the first time in 35 years, I actually took the flight and I focused on me.
Yes.
I took the flight. First flight, no problem. Second flight, there's no group number on my ticket. Now, I'm a creative, and so all the creatives in the audience, I want you to listen. We can create a story at the drop of a dime. So in my head, I had a fake ticket. I was going to jail. TSA was going to come and grab me because there was no group number on my ticket. But lo and behold, I go to the booth. I let them know, hey, there's no group number. They said, no worries, just go in with group 2. So they call group 2. I get in line, and I'm like, great. And then they call my name over the loudspeaker. Immediately, I look out the window to see if the TSA is coming down from a helicopter or if one of the parts is coming up or something. And I'm like, oh, please don't let me get arrested in another state. I don't want to get arrested. I've never been arrested. So I go ahead back to the booth, and they hand me a brand new ticket, and it's first class.
Wow.
First time ever being in first class. But not only that, it was significant because if I would have stayed home and had my pity party, I never would have had that first class experience.
Wow.
And so many of us as women, so many of us as just individuals, as entrepreneurs, we get so stuck in the moment that we forget that on a couple steps ahead could be that first class ticket. A couple steps ahead could be that 1 6-figure client that's going to take your business to another level. It could be the one idea that's really going to explode your business and put you out in front of the world. It's the couple steps ahead. So we can't get stuck in that step that we're in because there's something greater coming for us. So for me, that was a significant change, and it made me shift in everything that I did after that, because now I'm saying yes to the opportunity. I'm going to speak on the stages. I'm going to do the podcast interviews. I'm going to write the books. Currently, I'm at 15 books published, and I am on a goal to publish 100.
Wonderful.
I am going to say yes to it all because I don't know what other opportunities are going to come from my yes.
Awesome. One of the things there that I truly appreciate is you have used that story in creating a platform that is helping other women to share their story. Now, for those who are looking to get started with podcasting specifically today, let's help them out. How do you go about getting started?
So I would tell them, how most people would say, all of this fluffy stuff or they would tell them to get all of these expensive, tools and resources. I would say, sit down, get your phone and press the record button. So many times we think that we have to have so many other extra things. And granted, the extras help. Having the podcast mic helps. Having the boom mic and having all of these lights and all that helps. But the most important thing is you taking action. I'm very big on taking action. And so taking action is you going and pressing the record button and recording whatever it is, the topic that you are the expert at, recording yourself talking about that topic. What do you think people just coming into your industry would want to know? What are some of the pitfalls that you came in contact with? Or what were some of the happy moments that you had in doing this thing? And that is your most valuable thing. Now, some of you are going to say, well, I don't want it to, sound any old type of way. If that's going to be my first episode, you're moving too fast. I always tell you, it's important for you to take action, but I'm also very, very understanding when it comes to motivation. We need something that's going to shift us into full force, into go mode. And that recording is going to be valuable because that is the first recording you did of your episode. And even if it never makes it to your show, when you go back in your phone and listen to it, that should motivate you the same way it motivated you today when you recorded.
Absolutely.
That part.
It's amazing. Looking back to when I started, I have an interesting story because I wanted to be interviewed. I put up some emails to be interviewed on different podcasts and all that. And after about 6 months of going after, I wasn't getting any invite to be a guest. And it dawned on me, there is a quotation that I had Bob Proctor mentioning that says the people that gets ahead in this world are the people that get up, look for the set of circumstances they want, and if they can't find them, they make them. And I thought, you know what? I am going to create it for myself. And from that onwards, I had my virtual team identify what I wanted to do, the topic I wanted to focus on, and I just created it. Now, fast forward a few years later, I literally can get anyone I want on my show because people can see that I've interviewed a whole lot of other people. And instead of me going after people saying, hey, can I be on your show? They're coming to me. And it's incredible. Going back to your point there that just recorded, I've had some amazing guests, and I've had some guests that are not that great, but they have a value.
I've had some moments, yeah.
But just experiencing that, just going ahead and record it, and when you listen to it, you get better every single time. So just go ahead. The opportunity that opens up for you are truly, truly amazing.
Yes, indeed. I love that because it's, for me, being the introvert, I was, considered the shy one. But it opened up opportunities for me to be a speaker. It opened up opportunities for me, again, to network with some of those who are really big in the industry, those who are doing great things. And then people look and go, oh, wait, I need to get on her show. Like, I need to be connected to what she's doing, wherever she is, connect me somehow. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm at the point where people are sending me emails going, hey, I such and such wants to be on your show. How do we set that up? Yes. And I never thought that I would be in that position because I am the shy one. Because I am the quiet one. I've had people talk about everything and anything about me. When it comes to my appearance, when it comes to my personality, and here it is. when it comes to podcasting, it doesn't matter. Like, podcasting is about you being authentically you. And so whatever your personality is the one that's going to resonate with your audience. It's going to be the one that brings people to the show. And it's going to be the one that really sparks an amazing conversation. Like, I think that's one of the greatest things is that when you listen to a podcast and you really think like, oh my goodness, they must have known each other for like 6 years. They must have known each other for forever. And they're like, nah, we just met right before the show. You just didn't realize it. Well, it's because when you create something like a podcast, you're showing up authentically you. Like, I don't have to
absolutely
follow anybody else's model. I can be me. They get me 100%.
It's amazing, truly amazing. Now, suppose someone is listening and they are getting stuck on that very first step. What are your few words to them?
Oh my goodness. So I know that we always talk about create a plan. I'm going to say create a plan, but not in the traditional sense. I don't want you to plan out your next 5 episodes.
Yes.
I don't want you to get that like deep into it. I want you to go and look at your next 3 episodes, your first 3 episodes, and say, who do I want to interview? And then I want you to go after that person. I'm going to tell you why. I love being able to put things out into the atmosphere. I am very big when it comes to, seed time and harvest. Whatever seed you're going to sow is the type of harvest that you're going to receive. And so in knowing that, then I know that, okay, if these are people I want to connect with, then I need to know where they are. I need to know who knows them. But also, as I'm putting that out into the atmosphere, then I know that people that may not be at the same level, but has the same information or the same level of influence, they may be the ones that show up. So I may not have Oprah on my show, but I may have the Oprah of live streaming. I may have Oprah of technology. I may have the Oprah of speaking on my show. And it's because I set out a plan that this was the level that I wanted it to be on. And then when I look at that plan and I reach out to those people, also being flexible and support, I got to learn when to pivot. I got to learn when something isn't working for me or something isn't working for my audience. Then it's time to say, okay, let me adjust the plan a little bit in order for me to be able to get back into a flow. When you do a podcast, you should love it. Like, I love podcasting. Don't you love podcasting?
It's the best thing in my business.
Right? I love podcasting. I can do this every day, all day, no problem. Because the plan is, okay, I know who I want to have on my show. I know what kind of conversations I want to have. And we just go with it. I've had some of the top names in speaking on my show. And it's been because of that plan. And again, I never planned it out for the next 20 episodes, or it was just three episodes out. Yes. What do I want that to look like? Yeah. And so that's where you should start. That's your motivation and your inspiration.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. You know, one of the things I have that I accidentally discovered as a result of doing the show is I have become an expert by credibility, by association rather, because I'm interviewing experts and I'm also perceived as an expert. And you and I know that people buy from experts. And once you do that, you increase your sales. I know it sounds funny, but for my virtual assistants company, we have tripled, some cases, even more when I have done the podcast, because we are promoting our virtual assistants and my guests promoted the show. And I'm promoting it. There's cross-pollination there that is going on, cross-promotion that is going on. And truly, it's amazing. And one other benefit go from this one, which I didn't know it would be there, but from just doing it, I've had to sit down and take this as my learning time, because you are having experts, right, telling you exactly what is working right now, not what is in the book somewhere else on the shelf, but what is working right now, which truly is amazing. I've got what I call the 555 personal commitment. I spend 5 of my hours each week on personal growth. That is me interviewing somebody, and another 5 hours on giving back, contributing to my local church, holding groups, and all that sort of things. And another 5 hours for just me, just, doing what I love, going play golf and all that. So I'm doing it during my podcast. I don't know, has that been your experience?
I absolutely love it. So when the different ones that I've had on my show, I've been able to talk to them and, man, not only open up in just a dialogue, but just a flow of information. And I can even talk about how, what that has done for me. So, for instance, there's one person, Michael Marcel. Awesome. He is all things 5-figure work week. I absolutely love him. And so I had him as a guest maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. But we stayed connected. We're connected on Facebook. I was in his group for a while, checking things out and connecting and engaging. And so he also spoke for my summit, and he gave some great nuggets. I know that he's somebody that if I reach out to him, he's going to respond. Like he's going to answer whatever question I have. And he's like, well, whatever you need, just let me know.
Awesome.
So recently, he tagged me in a post. Now I'm very I give everybody the side eye when they tag me and stuff. If it's something that's not directly connected to me. But he tagged me in a post, and the post was another podcaster who was looking for entrepreneurs who had made 6, 7, and 8 figures in their business. And he wanted to interview them on his show. And he had, interviewed MJ Harris and all these different people. Now, it's one thing for someone to tag your name, just so you see the post. He tagged my name and said, Altovise is an all-around powerhouse in everything. And that just brought the biggest smile to my face, because it was like, wow, again, he's someone I have not met in person. We've never met in 2 years, 2+ years we've known each other. We have not met each other in person. But
the benefits,
it's the benefits. It's opening up those opportunities. I absolutely love that. And I see where it takes us as individuals, because I can learn from something he's posting, but I can also learn from something, from reaching out to him and saying, hey, can we just have a chat for, 15, 20 minutes, or, what, and I'm also somebody who, and this is really big as podcasters, future potential podcasters, reciprocity is very important.
Indeed. Absolutely.
And so I'm always sewing. I'm always, seeing how I can encourage other people and share out their stuff and, do things like that. So you always will have people that want to see you thrive and see you grow when that's the type of person you are.
It is a little community that you join. In fact, it's an ever-growing community that you develop. Now, let's switch gears for a moment. Say somebody has pressed that record button. Now what?
So we pressed the button for the first time. We got the jitters out, because that's what happens when you press record the first time. You get the jitters out. You get the jitters out. Now what? So now we make a decision. What can I commit to this? Because I think that's another thing where a lot of people, when they come into the industry, they don't really have a real sense of commitment to it. They just figure, oh, I'll just record whenever. but it's our consistency in when we record and when our shows go live that build up an audience. When people know, they hear the hashtag Speakeasy podcast, they know every Tuesday and Thursday you're going to get a new episode, right?
Right.
So they look for it on that day. If there's no episode, they're sending me email. Everything okay? Is what's going on? They're sending emails. I'm getting messages on Facebook and Instagram. Hey, I didn't see an episode, or what's going on. But that consistency is going to be very valuable as you get further down the line, because you may have moments where it's not fun. You may have moments where somebody doesn't show up for an episode, or the episode did not turn out the way you wanted it to. You may have some where it's not really an engaging conversation. I'm just going to be honest. You do. I think I've had maybe a handful. It hasn't been many, but you'll have some where you're like, you're trying to draw something out of them. So you'll have some moments like that, but it's a part of the process. So if you get into that habit of consistency now, when those moments come up, you'll say, okay, this didn't go the way I planned. How can I fill this void or this space so that way I'm still showing up on whatever day I said my episode would be live? So I think that's very valuable, is that make that commitment, figure out what that commitment is going to look like, how long you want your episodes to be. There's some people that do episodes that are like 2 hours long. Oh my goodness. But I've also been on a podcast where it was 9 minutes long.
Wow.
So it's what's the commitment that you can put into it, and then that'll spark something for you. Because when you see, okay, I really can make this happen, I really can do this, then you're going to put some steps behind that, so that way you can go ahead and start doing more recordings, and later down the line you start doing more research, and it becomes a habit.
Absolutely. I would second that. Consistent is absolutely the key. The moment you drop off there, you have to start all over again, and keep on going, because the benefits are tremendous, honestly. And if you're building a brand, you will build, it's like a snowball, people will begin to find out what you're doing. And if you are very clear on the goal of your podcast, is it client acquisition? Is it just educating others? Or is it just a labor of love? You will begin to hit those goals. And it's amazing. I'll tell you a story. When we started, it was purely client acquisition. So our podcast was on my personal website. So when people would come, they will go straight to my personal website and they will see all about virtual assistant. And as we grow, I was even amazed that we can promote in other areas, other platforms, and it goes beyond client acquisition. It's now contribution, and you're bringing the right information that help people right where they are, and they will always come back to find you.
Yeah. I think I love when I tell people the statistics when it comes to podcasting. The median revenue of podcast listeners is about $150,000 a year. When we think about podcasting as opposed to live streaming, podcasters, we have it good because our audience listens to the whole episode. Absolutely. As opposed to on live stream where they may watch for about 15 minutes and then they're off doing something else. They listen to the full episode and they take action when Absolutely. It comes to podcasting. And so those little tidbits, when you think about that, you're like, why aren't business owners using podcasts? Why? And even if you don't want to create your own, how many podcasts that you could be on. You can do a podcast a week for the next several years and market your business like never before and put yourself in front of a whole other audience. I think last time I checked, we're at like 60 million Americans listen to podcasts. I think your audience is somewhere in you have a client, at least you got 1 or 2 clients in that span, right? So it's just being able to use it the right way. And I think when we talked about, when I talk about monetizing it and magnetizing it, those are the things that are missed, right? Like as entrepreneurs, it's like, oh, okay, well, let me go do a podcast episode. And then you don't do anything else with it. It's just kind of sitting in the cloud.
Yes. So let's talk about that. How do you monetize your podcast?
So this is something, and man, I teach this in one of my courses. I absolutely love it. Is that for one, as a entrepreneur, when you show up to do a podcast, show up with one social media link. So now this is a trick. This is something that many people do not know, and so I'm like about to blow your minds right now, right? So a confused buyer will not buy. And so when you go to do a podcast interview, if you go, hey, follow me on all social media links, most times they won't follow you on any. They won't follow you on any. But if you go, hey guys, if you put in World Voice League on LinkedIn, connect with me there. I would love to hear, and I'm giving y'all the whole little spiel, so I hope you're writing this down. You may have to go back and press the rewind and listen to it again. But it's, hey guys, I loved being able to share this information with you guys today. Come and connect with me over on World Voice League, World Voice League over on LinkedIn. I want to know how this episode resonated with you. So leave me a review or a recommendation there. Also, you can send me a message. I definitely want to connect with you. And, I look forward to hearing from you. Again, even if you didn't like it, let me know so I can get better. Now, you're not going to 5 different sites trying to find me. You're going to one site. And what did I do? I gave you a call to action because I asked you to either message me or leave me a recommendation. That has been how I literally grew my LinkedIn to over 8,000 connections.
Incredible.
And people are just like, yeah, how are you getting all of these people connecting with you? I said, because they're listening to podcast episodes and they may hear it and go, oh, okay, she said on LinkedIn. Well, LinkedIn, I can open that up on my phone really quickly and put it, she said World Voice League. Put that up. Oh, only 2 things will pop up, my personal page and my business page. And so they can connect with me on either one. But it stops them from having to put in my whole name because most times they tear my name trying to spell it. But it also gives them an opportunity for me to get, reviews. Hey, I really loved your episode because you talked about this, this, and this. Or, hey, I didn't really like the episode because I felt like you missed this out. I get feedback and content immediately.
Absolutely. Well, we are coming toward the end of our time here together there. Where can people find you? That's the best part.
So, guys, I really want to hear from you over on LinkedIn. Just put in World Voice League and you can connect with me there. Listen, I want to see if you really took action on doing that first video. So not only do I want you to connect with me there, I want you to send me the recording. Yes, I hold people accountable. I want to hear the recording that you did. Even if the audio wasn't the best, even if you giggled through it, that's fine. But I want to see you really move forward in making this a reality. And remember, you don't always have to be a host. You can be a guest. Absolutely. But either way, you got to get started.
Gosh, you have nailed it. And I've just had a wonderful time talking to you. And for those who are listening, just do something about this. Maybe you've been playing around or with the idea of getting started. Just go ahead and do it. And some of the things that we have not talked about here, you are going to discover that truly this will give a boost to your brand and you can even bring some cash. I always say podcasting has brought me 3 C's: credibility, cash, and clients, which is always the truth. So go try it and be persistent. Keep on doing it. You'll be amazed at what comes out your way. If anything, you're just going to have a great conversation like I'm having here today. And I'm growing. So I want to wish you the very best. If you have any query, just reach out to us. And of course, if you're looking for a virtual assistant, reach out to us and we will make it happen for you. Instantly, there is a promotion going on today. So just reach out to us. With that said, have a great day, and I look forward to catching up on LinkedIn, Yeukai Business Show, and also in our next episode. Have a great day, and again, my friend, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.